Hi there, and thanks for tuning in to Wednesdays with Wit. I'm Whitney, and today we'll be discussing knowing when to quit. So quitting kind of sounds harsh, right? If you're like me, just the mere thought of dang, quitting, ooh, sounds really bad and terrible. I know for myself, quitting has always had a very negative connotation. Growing up, my parents, if you started a sport, you had to finish the season out. There was no quitting in between, or if there was an activity I chose to do, whether that was a school play, whether I said I was going to read a poem, whatever it was, if I committed to it, they held me accountable and did not just let me up and quit. So for me, quitting has always had just a negative connotation. And then on top of that, being the youngest sibling, you never want to be the one to cry mercy and say I give up. You always want to fight to the end so that you could be the victor. But as an adult, I realized that mentality, although it served me in childhood, it does not serve me as an adult. And it's okay to quit. Let me be the first person to tell you that it is okay to quit. You can do it. It's all right. The world will continue to spin, and things will continue to go on even in your absence. I know in the past I've thought about quitting as being a lack of faithfulness or a lack of loyalty, but if you actually think about it in the reverse, if you don't quit and you continue to press on, you really are being disloyal and unfaithful to yourself. And you are the most important. Me, I, myself, counts more than any other voice in the room, right? Today I'm going to give you 5 tips on when I believe you know that it is time for you to quit. The first sign when you know it is time for you to quit is when you feel mentally, physically, or emotionally exhausted, when you think about having to engage with that person, place, or thing. When you are that tired or that worked up or just that over it, that feeling, that's the warning sign for you that this may not be it. This ain't it anymore. And that's okay. My second tip on when I know it's time for me to quit is when I'm not having fun anymore. Of course, life isn't all rose petals and bubbles. It's not always just going to be fun. But if I am not finding value in my work and I'm not passionate about it anymore, and it just wears me out to think about it, that's not fun. I want to have some laughs. I'm normally pretty happy and bubbly. So when I'm not doing those things or there's nothing fun out of it, it's just draining. And that's when I know that it's time for me to walk away. Thirdly, I know it is time for me to quit whenever I feel as if I'm having to work outside of or step outside of my character, my values, or my goals. So I might start something or I might be doing something in one season of my life, but then my life changes. Or maybe my goals have changed or my focus has changed. Whatever may happen, things do change, and that's okay. So it's okay for me to pivot if necessary. I might even change my mind about how I feel on a certain topic. So when I started something, I thought it was okay. I thought it was appropriate. Now time has changed and my perspective has shifted. And now I can no longer do this because it no longer serves me and it's no longer aligned to my values and my morals of who I am today, not necessarily when I started. I know it's time for me to quit when I'm really in tune and listening to my body. Trust me, the body keeps the score. It always knows if your mind is always racing or if you start to get that nervous feeling every single time you engage with this person, place, activity, or thing, or you start to get to where, I just don't feel like it. There's a reoccurring physical or psychological reaction that you're having or some type of physical manifestation in your body or in your emotions. That's when I know that it's time for me to quit because I'm just I feel it, I just feel it in my gut. Some people call it women's intuition. Some people call it their Holy Spirit. Some people call it the universe, whatever you call it. But you get that internal churning where you feel as if like, maybe not. It's okay. Trust it. Trust yourself and step away. My fifth and final way I know it is time for me to quit something is when basically my goods are not outweighing my bads. So if my bads are like outwinning or outweighing my good moments, that's normally a sign that it's time for me to quit or it's time for me to take a break, because surely whatever I'm doing should be worth my time, worth my energy, and it fuels me, right, to go forward to do the next thing. If I'm not getting refilled or refueled and I'm just, being taken away from or being just constantly pouring out, I can't pour from an empty cup. Whenever I feel like that bad, or when I make that pros and cons list and my cons is longer than my pros, that's normally a sign it's time for me to wrap it up then and call it quits. In conclusion, these are my 5 tips for when I know it's time for me to quit or to move on from something. You will have to do your own internal assessment of when do you know it's time for you to quit. In the past, things that you've stopped doing or you quit doing, when did you know? What clues did you have? What cues did you receive that said, you know what, it's time for me to rethink this? Whatever those reasons are for you, listen to them. Trust them. Trust yourself. It is okay to quit. It is okay to take a break. It is okay to stop. I want to validate those feelings and those experiences and let you know it's cool if you need to quit. Okay, that's all I have to share with you today. If you've enjoyed today's Wednesday with Wit, please like, share, and subscribe to this YouTube channel, WM Stewart Consulting. And thank you for tuning in to today's Wednesdays with Wit. Until we meet again, take care.